Hi boys and girls, it's time for science. Before we get started, I just want to say how proud I was of how every single person did a fantastic job of tracking the weather for 5 days. Wendy was so happy that she could tell people the weather and they weren't going to miss out because of technical difficulties. Today in science, we're going to be talking about seasons. Now, weather and seasons, they go together. So when we go outside and we have windy, sunny, rainy, that's just our daily weather, but depending on our season is the type of weather we're going to see most often. So right now we're in the spring season getting ready for summer. So we know that we have 4 seasons: spring, summer, winter, or fall, and then winter. And we know that they go in a cycle, which means after winter it goes back to spring, summer, fall, winter, back to spring, and then it repeats over and over year after year. So before we look at our homework for seasons, we're going to go ahead and practice thinking about what happens in each season. So we're going to start with spring. That's the season that we are in right now and kind of coming out of, but it's the season we've been in most often. So when you think of spring, what do you think of? For me, I think of flowers. Flowers start to bloom in the season of spring. Now they came out of winter where there was a lot of cold weather, not a lot of growth happening, and in spring things are starting to grow again. So I think of flowers. What else do you think of in spring? In spring, we celebrate Easter. And when we celebrate Easter, it's just reminding us of like new life and things that are growing again. You start seeing a lot more of like chicks and little bunnies and things like being born. And so that happens a lot in the springtime. What else do you think of in springtime? For me, I think of butterflies. We start seeing more butterflies in the springtime. So when we enter spring, it is a time where things are starting to grow again. There's more leaves, there's more flowers. I feel like you hear more birds chirping in the air. It's just a lovely season. But once we go from spring, we go into summer. Now, I know that you know about summer because that's when we're not in school anymore. So what do you think of when you think of summer? Now, the sun, it shines all year round. But when I think of summer, I think of the sun because it's nice and hot outside. Do you agree? Yeah, it gets really hot out in the summer. What else do you think of in the summertime? I think of going swimming. Do you like to go swimming? So when we go swimming, we need our bathing suit on. I made that a funky bathing suit. That's okay. You need a bathing suit. What else do you think about when you go swimming? I like to think of eating something nice and cold to cool me down. Kind of creamy. Do you know what I'm thinking of? Ice cream. I like to eat ice cream in the summer. Now when summer's over, we start getting into fall. Now in fall, everything is getting ready for winter time. So things aren't growing as much. In fact, the trees are trying to preserve their energy, and we're actually going to start seeing a lot more leaves that are changing colors, falling to the ground. We're going to start seeing where we can't wear our shorts and our tank tops anymore. We're going to have to start wearing longer pants, maybe some sweaters. And in the fall, we also celebrate a few holidays, and we have things like pumpkins that grow in the fall. Now in fall time, it's not as hot as summer and it's not as cold as winter, but things are starting to change to get ready for winter time. So let's think about winter. Now winter in Texas is a little bit different than winter in other parts of our country or even parts of our world. But when we're in winter, it gets a lot colder and we start having to wear more clothes. So not only do we need pants, but we're going to have to start wearing some scarves to keep our necks warm. You might wear more hats, a bigger coat. What else? What happens in winter? I know in winter, you really don't see many leaves. All those trees have lost their leaves to preserve their energy for the rest of the winter so they don't have to create as much. So we know that in the fall, the leaves start to fall off the trees, and then in winter, things aren't growing anymore. And another thing I think about in winter, which we don't really have much here in Houston, but I think of snowmen. Some people can build snowmen in their winter time. Not in Houston, though. So boys and girls, remember we have 4 seasons. We've got spring, we've got summer, we have fall, and we have winter. And we have different things that we do during each season. Now let me show you what your homework is going to be. Now here's what your packet is probably going to look like. We're going to be on page 83 and 84. And it's going to give you 4 pictures of a tree representing each season. And then it's going to give you all these pictures that you need to cut out and sort for depending on which season they belong to. Now, it's kind of hard to see what these actually look like when they're in black and white, so I'm going to show them to you in color. So this first one is what? I see a butterfly, I see flowers, I see things just starting to grow. Yeah, that was just like our springtime. Remember? Flowers, butterflies, things starting to grow. That's spring. Now this next one, all the leaves have grown. It looks pretty sunny and bright. What season do you think that is? Summer, absolutely. Now this next one, do you notice how the leaves are starting to change colors? Yeah, I see some leaves falling to the ground. And when we see leaves falling, we know what season that is. Fall. Now this last picture doesn't have any leaves. I see a bird and then I see a little bit of snow on the ground. What season is that? Yeah, it's winter. So when we look at our packet, it's a little bit harder to see, but it goes spring, summer, fall, and winter. So again, I'm going to show you these pictures in color. So on your next page of your packet, you're going to cut them out and you're going to sort and you're going to see the snowflake, spring, summer, fall, winter. Okay? I can't wait to see. I'm going to go ahead and name all the pictures for you just in case you don't know what they are. So you're going to have a snowflake, a baby chick, a boy swimming in a pool, a flower, a snowman, a boy in the rain, a cup of hot chocolate, a scarecrow, ice cream cone, butterfly, a girl raking leaves, oops, a sandcastle, a pumpkin, watermelon, leaves, and then a boy playing in the snow with his scarf and hat on. So just in case you can't tell what the pictures are in your packet, because they're in black and white, that's what they look like, and you can find them online in color also. So again, you're going to cut them out, and then you're going to put like a snowflake. We know that belongs to winter, so you would glue it in the box for winter. So there's 4 for winter, 4 for fall, 4 for summer, and 4 for spring. I can't wait to see all of the wonderful things that you're sorting as you're learning about the seasons this week. Bye, friends.